My name is Shanyn Fiske. I am a stills photographer as well as a videographer and documentary filmmaker. Today we are going to be shooting part of a documentary on an organization called Miles to Freedom, and I'll be walking you through the lighting setup and how we shoot this documentary. So we've been working with Justin Held, who is the president of Miles to Freedom, for about 6 months now. So we are going to be filming a promotional video for him, as well as clips that we will later use for a short documentary focused on one of the rides that he's going to be doing. I've been a commercial stills photographer for about 8 years now. I've recently started transitioning into videography and being a DP for the documentary team that I'm on. I've brought a lot of the lighting knowledge that I have utilized in my stills photography with me. And one of the main challenges that I encountered in being both a stills photographer and a videographer on the same set is transitioning from strobe lighting to constant lighting, because quite often we have both on set. One of the positives of using Westcott's lighting and their constant lighting system is that I don't have to make that transition from turning on and off my strobes, turning on and off my trigger. Instead, I use the same set of constant lights for both my stills photography and the videography, so that I can really just transition between my two camera systems rather than worrying about transitioning between two lighting setups. Much of the documentary is going to be filmed in natural light. We're going to be following Justin on his bike, on the trails and on the roads. The segments that we're filming today are going to be in Justin's bike shop. And we wanted to simulate a lot of the same kinds of lighting scenarios. We didn't want there to be a huge transition between the indoor lighting that we're using and the outdoor lighting that we are going to be filming for the rest of the documentary. Today we're going to be filming in Justin's bike shop. We're going to be filming the interview that will be the voiceover for the rest of the short documentary. And we're also going to be filming some B-roll in Justin's bike shop of Justin actually working on some of the bikes. So I typically work with a very small crew. Today on set we have Kat Hash, who is my producer, and Caleb Durans, who is my second shooter. Caleb has been our primary videographer on our team for a very long time, so he knows everything about video, and I quite often have to ask him for help or advice when it comes to videography, because as I said, that is a newer skill set for me. I quite often work alone as the photographer or videographer on set, so I'm always very grateful when I have other people and an actual small crew to help me with things, because I'm able to move so much faster. I'm able to ask other people to move lights or set up lights for me. And of course, I'm very grateful to have a producer on set who is able to feed my subject questions so that I can focus on the technicalities of what go on behind the camera. So for our key light today, we're using the L120B, and I had originally turned the light directly on the subject, that's Justin. So we do have the light on Justin's face, and I like the way that it's exposed, but the problem is that we have this very shiny material in the back of the bike shop. So I did not want so much light to be bouncing off of the silver background. So the solution that we came up with is to feather the main light to take a little bit of light off of the background and still have Justin lit appropriately. So we just turned our key light a little bit like this to angle it so that we have the light feathered on Justin's face. And as you can see, I'm really liking the way that his face is exposed, and it takes a lot of that distracting light off the shiny background in the bike shop. So we're using 3 Ice Light 3s to light the background of the bike shop today. This ice light is lighting the couch, giving it a very warm tone. It's set at 30% right now. We have 2 ice lights positioned, one hidden behind the couch, which I won't be able to see in frame, but it's giving this really, really nice glowy kind of light to the background here, lighting some of these backpacks and the gear in the bike shop. And the other ice light is also not going to be seen in frame, but it's giving a nice warm glow to this gear, these bikes, the things on this desk. And I have these two ice lights set in one group so that I can control their temperature and intensity on my Westcott app, and they're matched to each other because they're grouped. So this ice light is serving multiple functions. It's set at 30%, which is higher than the other two background lights. So it's not only lighting the couch, but it's sweeping across the entire background and giving that same even warm glow across the background, as well as giving a little bit of rim light to Justin. So for the second setup, we've moved to the corner of the bike shop, and we're using the same lights that we did for the first setup. We're using the L120B, and we're using that as our key light again. We've turned that toward the bike that Justin's going to be working on. And then we have an ice light again to light our background, and again that's dialed into 2700 Kelvin in order to create that warm light for the background and lighting these bikes in the back of the shop. And we've set up a second ice light on the floor here so that when we're recording Justin working on the bike, we have the back of the shop backlit by this third ice light here. So we actually have quite a bit of ambient light in this bike shop as well. We have this row of shop lights that's lighting the tools on the wall here. And we also have some natural light coming in from the front door of the bike shop. And the great thing about the constant lights here is that they're able to complement and balance out the natural light and the ambient light that we have in the shop. So I actually ended up turning off the key light in one of the backlights and just leaving on the ice light that's on the floor. And we've created this incredibly moody shot. For me, it evokes this idea of early morning or late night, and the idea of Justin just here in his bike shop on his own, working on his bikes in his place of peace and quiet. And I really, really love the moodiness of this shot. So we moved in for a tighter shot on Justin here, and this shot is being lit purely by the ambient lights and by the ice light. So there's two ice lights here. We kept the one on the floor, and also we moved the ice light in a little bit closer to Justin, and we put barn doors on the ice light there to better control the angle of the light. So we just wrapped up this part of our documentary shoot. We had a small crew with us and we were able to move fast, and I was very, very grateful for the fact that I had a second camera rolling tight shots, so we didn't really have to take more than 2 takes of the same shot because we had all of our angles covered. And we had Kat, our producer, feeding questions to the subject, Justin, and we were able to accomplish everything we set out to do in less than half a day. I was very grateful to have the use of the ice lights with us this time because we were shooting in some very tight spaces, and I love the versatility of these ice lights because we were able to put some on the floor, we were able to put some in corners, to clamp them on shelves, and these were so versatile, and we were able to position them exactly where we needed an additional kick of light. If you have any questions, please comment below, and thank you for watching.